All right, we are live. So obviously the Josh Williams thing is a big deal today. Gonna do the chat check here, but I imagine that's probably what a lot of people want to talk about. I thought he would get a one race suspension for that deal, just because he walked across a hot track. Whenever you walk across a hot track, you kind of got to expect that it's going to be a one race deal. Essentially, that's what Bubba Wallace got when he walked across the racetrack as well. So uh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's fair because he walked across the hot track. But other than that, I feel like if he hadn't have done that, NASCAR probably would have not given him the full deal there. So I think the walking across the hot track is 100% most likely what he got the penalty for. So there we go. Mark Barnum is in the chat, so the chat is working. So that is definitely a positive deal. I don't think he got a penalty for parking the car because, like I said, we've seen Kyle Busch park the car. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Kyle Busch claimed that the steering box was hurt, and that's why he parked the car and left it there. But we all know the deal. Kyle Busch parked his car and didn't get a penalty for parking the car. So I didn't think Josh Williams would get a penalty for parking the car. So I think it's pretty fair, the one race deal, because he did walk across a hot racetrack, and that is just always a no-no. That's just one of those deals that is really dumb. That part of it I didn't agree with. I did agree with his protest. I did feel like he was getting worked over. They were being way too aggressive with the rule there. So I do like that he stood up for himself. I just didn't like the manner in which he did it. Like, if he hadn't walked across the track, I would have been totally with him and totally agree with him. Just park the car there and stay with the car so you don't get hurt, and that way you've made your protest. You've made your voice heard. But I am interested to see what you guys think about it. Tons of other stuff going on. Like I said, the Haas deal is still ongoing. It's going to be interesting to see what comes of that deal. I had to work super late today, obviously, because we got a later start time than normal. So I haven't had time to finish digging into that Haas deal. But I will get that video done tonight, and that video will be up tomorrow. So for all the people looking for the Haas deal, we will get that going pretty soon here. But let's jump into the chat and see what all you guys want to talk about. Mark Barnum, what's up? Escobar, what's up? Hope you're doing good today. 4 winners in 5 races. It's already started, says one wise guy. So, yeah, that is actually a really good point that I hadn't really had a chance to expound upon or even think about. But, yeah, we could be looking at another season where we see multiple winners, like at least 16. Like, if we have another 16-win season, that is going to be another thing that could possibly hurt the Hendrick drivers with that points penalty. And of course, the points deal with Hendrick still ongoing. They haven't, I guess, had the full appeal yet or anything like that. So that is another situation that could hurt Hendrick, because if you keep that 100-point penalty and 17 drivers win, and then they go to the next deal, which would be like wins and points. If the wins are the same and then they go to points, the Hendrick drivers would definitely be lacking in points because of those 100-point fines that they have incurred. So this is not the end of the story. Now, whether or not they get them overturned, and that's another thing, but let's just assume they don't get them overturned for the sake of argument here. If there's 17 different winners and one of those Hendrick drivers gets sent home because of the 100-point penalty, all things being even and things like that, that would end up being a much larger story over this penalty deal. So that'll be something to watch for sure. So yeah, the 4 winners in 5 races, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. No doubt about it. Stupid Roofer, what's going on? Good to see you on here. William says, hello, Bologna Burger. Doing good there, William. One wise guy said, cool thing. No points penalty for Williams, and fine. That was actually pretty cool on NASCAR's part, because obviously this is not a guy that's raking in millions and millions of dollars as a driver. Obviously, he didn't have it to give anyway, so that was cool of NASCAR just to do the one race suspension. Sort of the opposite of what they did with Carl Long back in the day. Obviously, Carl Long got caught with the oversized motor, but the motor was only oversized because it was worn out. But they hit Carl Long with one of the bigger monetary fines in NASCAR history, and I don't think he still has paid it all the way off. So it was just a way, in my opinion, of getting Carl Edwards out of the sport. I mean, Carl Long. I always say Carl Edwards. Carl Long, sorry. But anyways, let's see here. Hot Rod Shorts, appreciate the live stream. Appreciate. I'm glad you like it. I'll try to keep doing them. Sorry I'm late today, but like I said, work ran over just a little bit longer than I thought it would run. Yeah, but we're here and we're rolling here. Let's see here. Ralph Bond. U.S. Military grade style utensil set with knife and fork and spoon nib. So there you go. I remember Carl Long got screwed to Escobar. Yeah, that was one of the earlier deals. Uh, Gosh, when did that happen? That had to be like early 2000s, maybe like 2000 to 2004, somewhere in there. I'm thinking. But yeah, he definitely got the business, and I think was doing that just to get rid of the starting parks, or the he wasn't even a starting park, like he was actually racing back then. But yeah, NASCAR just didn't like having drivers that weren't competitive back then. This was before the charter system, and that was their way of trying to get rid of a driver, in my opinion. But yeah, and they never retracted the penalty, but I don't think he's ever paid the fine either, and he's still racing. So I think they have a quiet understanding of as far as that goes. Williams says, check out the shirt that they just came out with for Josh Williams. I haven't seen that yet, William. What does it say? Let me know down in the comments. I hadn't seen that one yet. Let's see here. One wise guy says, "Nice hat, BB." Yeah, so we're working on some prototype hats eventually for when I get the online store. I told you guys I'm working on the merchandise. This is that's why the stickers are still on it. I'm doing a commercial for it and everything like that. To promote it and the place that's making it and things like that, which we'll get to. But this is a prototype. I don't walk around with the stickers on my hats typically, but this is one of the prototypes. So if you like it, hopefully sooner rather than later, they will be available. This is I don't know if you can tell on the cam, but this is blue and gold. So we're going with sort of the Wrangler color scheme there. I've got some other color schemes on the way. But this is prototype number 2. We tried another prototype earlier. This is prototype number 2. So we will see. And this is the I don't know if you can tell, but the panel right there. But I'm pretty excited about these. We're gonna have some cool merch here before too long, along with some other stuff in the works there. So stay tuned, I guess. Let's see. From what I heard, Carl Long's engine was an old one. He had used at a race or two before. Yeah, he had used it for at least 1 or 2 full seasons. No doubt about it. And that thing was just worn out. And that's why the bore was overboard. They hadn't actually overbored it. The engine itself was just worn out on Carl Long's motor. I said Carl Edwards earlier because I always transpose those two. But I meant Carl Long just in case you're just now tuning in. One wise guy said, I watched the PBS hit piece. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's exactly where I'll just go ahead and leak it. That's exactly what direction I'm going with on the video I'm making for tomorrow. It is 100% a PBS hit piece. And it's sad that even PBS has been lowered to where they're not giving reliable news anymore, which is really sad because that is a public broadcasting and they shouldn't be taking hit pieces on guys that didn't even do anything wrong, in my opinion. So we'll have to take a look at it. That'll come out tomorrow because I after investigating it, I don't see where PBS has a leg to stand on that deal. So let's see here. Cassandra Keller says, hi, y'all from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Hope you're doing well today. What's up, Cassandra? Always good to have you on here. And what's up, Idaho? Always good to have Idaho tuning in. Let's see here. Stupid Roofer saying hi, Cassandra. Word to the bird, Baloney, says Damon Cuz. What's up, Damon? I hope you're doing good. Jamie Schweitzer, one more win, and Joey will be tied with Fireball Roberts, 33 wins and cup wins, 3 and 22. And so the cool thing about Joey Logano tying with Fireball Roberts is they both ran the number 22 car. So that's actually another cool thing. And they both drove Fords. So that's a really cool, just the way that lines up. That's going to be a pretty cool deal if he can get it done this year. I mean, looks pretty good right now, right? Looking pretty solid that he might get another win for sure, right? So I think there's a good chance it happens this year, and it's pretty cool for sure. Let's see here, 3 and 23. Jamie Schweitzer. I didn't even catch it. Having one of those days myself, my friend. Let's see here. One wise guy says Corey LaJoie 14th in points at the moment. So yeah, that's really cool too. As it stands right now, Corey LaJoie would be in the playoffs for Spire Motorsports. Spire Motorsports is putting obviously way more money into that program this season, and they have given Corey LaJoie something to drive. Unfortunately, the 77 doesn't look like they have anything to drive over there, but that's all right. Corey LaJoie is rolling in the 7, and hopefully the 77, it'll trickle down to them eventually at some point, but the 77 is doing the opposite of what Corey LaJoie is doing. which could be for a lot of reasons, but obviously they haven't finished a lot of races over there in the 77. So obviously all the money is going to the 7 car right now. But I do expect the 77 to turn around, and it would be nice to see 2 Spire cars at least running mid-pack or better. Logano has a lot more than that in him, says Damon Cuz. Oh yeah, for sure. He'll pass it. I'm just saying, Joey Logano, he's typically a 2 to 3 wins per season dude. But we are waiting for that season where he stacks up like 5 or 6 wins, because most good drivers normally do that. Every once in a while, you'll get a super consistent driver that just does 3 or 4 wins a season. Mark Martin was pretty much like that. I can't remember Mark Martin putting much over 5 wins in a season, but I could be totally wrong. I don't think he ever had one of those 10 or 12 win seasons, but he was just always consistent. Just classic Mark Martin. He might have had a 6 or 7 win season. I might be wrong about that. Let's see here. Cassandra Keller saying, "Hey, Mark B, PBS has been a propaganda outlet for a long time," says Sunny V. Yeah, so I stopped watching mainstream news a long time ago. So you guys will just have to forgive me. Like, I really just stopped paying attention to it. Like I said, I used to be a history major, and the stuff was so obvious to me, like all the way, like just way back before any of this nonsense started. So I stopped watching it a long time ago. Like I said, for me, it was the healthiest thing, because it was just really irritating to watch all that stuff. And I do mean like all sides of it. All sides of it are extremely biased and bought and paid for by people. So I just basically ignore mainstream stuff, because it's all propaganda, in my opinion. And we're not going to talk about that, because we're here to talk about racing and stuff like that. Let's see. Check out the website for the shirt, says William Wagaman. Okay, I'll check it out when I hop off of here. Unfortunately, I can't have like 2 things going. My internet's not good enough for that, and I didn't have any internet today, so sorry about that. But it is what it is. Let's see. I couldn't get a video out this morning because I didn't have internet. So and then work ran long today, so just going to be the live stream today. But hopefully I get 1 or 2 out tomorrow. What did NASCAR do to Josh W? Says Josh Strickland. They suspended him 1 race, and that 1 race most likely is going to be for walking across the track, a hot racetrack, which I think is fair. That was the dumb part of his protest. I did agree with his protest that he was protesting, because I do think it was unjust. But they gave him 1 race. They didn't take away any points, and they didn't fine him any money. So he's good to go as far as that goes. But he will have to miss 1 race. They are going to put Alex Labay, the Canadian Pinty's man. He is going to be in the car for Coda on the road course, and Alex Labay is really good road course. He's a really good driver, but he's definitely really good at road courses. So look out for him in that number 92. You might see something there. Mark Barnum says Josh Williams was on door bumper clear today. I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen that. Like I said, literally straight from work to here. Not even 5 minutes difference. Who's replacing Josh Williams for the suspension? It's going to be Alex Labay, one wise guy. I know you asked that before I said it. So it's going to be Alex Labay replacing him. And like I said, he's pretty good at road courses. He's a Canadian. The Canadian NASCAR series is called the Pinty Series. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. And he was really good in that. I think he's a former champion in that. I'm not a Pinty Series expert. 98, Mark Martin had 7 wins. So there you go. His maximum was 7 wins. But like I said, he was always good for 3 or 4 wins a season. And I think Joey Logano is very similar, different type of driver altogether. But as far as like win totals, they just seem to consistently get 2 to 3 every single year. But every once in a while, you'll have them jump up and get those 7-win seasons. 1998, Mark Martin, that was another good year for him. That was probably pretty close to his 90. What was it? 89 when he almost beat Earnhardt. If it wasn't for the terrible penalty, he probably would have beat Earnhardt. Let's see. Escobar says, I wish there would be different looking oval type tracks. The old Trenton Speedway, that speedway raced in the 70s, which was kidney shaped. I do wish they put some different, because Darlington is sort of egg shaped. I would like to see sort of some different configurations for ovals. Maybe not as big as Pocono, but like another triangle track that was shorter, where you didn't have the long straightaways like Pocono, because Pocono is just like 3 different drag races, and which 2 corners you want to pick to get through, because you're going to have to give up 1 corner. But I like the idea of Pocono too. So if they could figure out a way to make Pocono a little bit more racy, but I don't think it'll ever be one where that race doesn't get spread out. The garage talk supposedly is Hendrick won't be successful in their appeal, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I don't see at the very most they'll get it reduced just a little bit, and that's if they've got some type of bombshell in their communication with NASCAR, those emails that they keep talking about that they've got. But if they don't have anything like super bombshell in that, I don't think it's getting reduced at all. I feel like they're going to get hit with the exact same thing RFK got hit with, because RFK wasn't even trying to modify the part to make it better. They were just trying to fix basically a broken part, and they still got hit with the 100-point penalty. So I don't see Hendrick getting out of this one at all. And that's why I said I think going forward, if we have 17 winners, that could come into play, because as it stands now, Kyle Larson is like, what, he's only got 32 or 34 points or something like that. It's pretty crazy. He's going to need at least 2 wins to feel safe to get in there. Same thing with Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's going to be another one. Obviously, Chase Elliott didn't get hit with a penalty, but he's missing so many races. It's going to be a bigger penalty than actually getting hit with a penalty, period. Big Hat Byron, what's going on, man? He says, how's this going? I had a good chance to go 3 in a row, but I was just stuck on the outside. The big one happened, and yeah, I couldn't really go anywhere. It sucks, but on to Coda now. So there you go. He definitely had a good car. Hendrick Motorsports did have fast cars at this race, but for the most part, they all got taken out in wrecks. Alex Bowman was still there at the end, but for whatever reason, he was cycled out. But Kyle Larson and William Byron were definitely fast at that race, but Larson obviously was taken out by Almirola. And I can't remember who got William Byron, but he was in one of them as well. William Byron might have been in the same wreck. They suspended Josh after that cluster F of a race. It was the only redeeming thing of that race, says Damon. Yeah, so that was the only really memorable moment of it. I will agree with you as far as that goes. And I do agree with him sticking up for himself. He shouldn't have walked across a hot racetrack. So I actually do agree with the suspension of one race, because anytime you get out of the car and walk across a hot racetrack, no matter what it is, you should get at least one race for that. And they've got precedent for that, because that's even though Bubba Wallace was putting his hands on Kyle Larson and all that, what he actually got suspended for was walking across a hot track and leaving his race car. So NASCAR at least is consistent as far as that goes. Who's your pick for Coda, says one wise guy. Well, Chase Elliott has the best average finish in the last 2 races there, with 1 win and two top 5s. But surprisingly enough, Ross Chastain is the second best pick there. But as far as guys with no wins at that racetrack, who you would want to take a look at, it's going to be Alex Bowman. And that's as far as I'm going to tease it, because obviously I've got the full preview coming on Sunday. But I'm liking either Ross Chastain or Alex Bowman. And that is all I give you for right now. But there is one other guy in that mix who started to turn his season around recently, but we'll get to that when that comes in on Sunday. Sunday morning, we'll get that going. Bo Darville, the Bandit, what's up, man? Mark Martin won 7 times in 98. Unfortunately, Gordon was scorching the earth that year. Yeah, for sure. I should have known he won more than 5 or 6. But like I said, for the most part, Mark Martin was a 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 wins per season. And I feel like Joey Logano is the same way. I do feel like Joey Logano will have a breakout season where he gets 6 or 7 wins, just like Mark Martin, though. Like I said, totally different drivers. But as far as win totals, I think they're going to be similar like that in their career, where they always put up 2 to 4 wins. Fair call, in my opinion. Hot track, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair call for the 1 race deal. He shouldn't have walked across the hot track, but everything other than that, I do agree with him sticking up for himself. I think NASCAR missed that call big time. Let's see. Aaron Flynn, the timing you hit with the live chat with folks around here, you're hitting pretty good for the working man. Keep that in mind and continue to do what you do, says Aaron Flynn. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, this is YouTube is just something I do because it's a community where I get to talk with people about racing. It definitely does not pay the bills. So you don't have to worry about me just becoming a YouTuber solely as my form of income anytime soon. That's for sure. Ghetto Streamlab says Josh Williams got more fans and attention with this move than he could have imagined. I had never heard of the guy and bought his merch today. LOL. Oh, so there you go. Well, you got merch for a good one. That dude's a character. I didn't know you hadn't heard of him before, but he's that's partly my fault. I should have talked about him, right? So he's definitely a character. He's one of the biggest personalities in the sport, and this was almost inevitable that he would do something wild. I hate that it's sort of in a negative context because he does have such a big and a good personality, but it's cool that he's starting to get this shine, and hopefully he gets this shine and a lot of people see him and like what he's doing, and he gets a bunch of sponsors and he can continue his NASCAR touring series career. And hopefully one day, if he stacks up the wins, can get up there to the Cup Series. I am picking a Taylor driving the number 9 at Coda. That's not a bad pick. Because, like I said, the same car with Chase Elliott driving it has 1 win and 1 top 5, an average start of 10th, and an average finish of 2.5. Same average finish, by the way, as Ross Chastain with a 2.5 there. Another triangle track that was shorter is Nazareth. Yeah, so I think that's why I was thinking about that, Escobar, because he had mentioned, I think he mentioned Nazareth up in there. So, yeah. And Nazareth is a track that a lot of people still remember quite well. So I think a triangle shorter triangle track would actually play well in anything, short track racing or NASCAR. So either way, but I would like to see the ovals at least have very unique configurations, especially the cookie cutters. KFB for the truck win at Coda. Oh yeah, the smart money is always on KFB in the truck series. Mark Barn with that one. 100% agree with you. Let's see here. CPO fast forward says LeBay Penty's. Okay, I knew I was messing it up. Penty's series, the Penty series in 2017. Penty's season consists of half short tracks and half various forms of street/road courses and 1 race on dirt. Yeah, it's a really cool series. They've got a YouTube channel, by the way, if you've never heard of the Penty series, so check them out. It is, I think Penty's is a supermarket in Canada. They've got some really, I guess most famous for their chicken wings, or I don't know if it's a supermarket or if it's just like a chain of foods, like Conagra makes a bunch of different foods, but it's one or the other. But they sponsored the NASCAR series in Canada. So instead of like Winston Cup, you've got the Penty's series. So there you go. Which manufacturer do you think will win the Coda Cup race? Oh, wow. Looking like Chevrolet. I'm just looking at the numbers over here. It's looking like Chevrolet. Chevrolet has the top 4 as far as average finish. And if you go top 10, Chevrolet has six of the top 10. And then you've got 3 Fords and 1 Toyota. But the Toyota that is in that mix is actually, or 2 Toyotas, 3 Fords and 2 Toyotas, but the Toyota that is in that mix is a former Chevrolet driver, and that's Tyler Reddick. Let's see here. So he got all those finishes with a Chevrolet. So if I was going manufacturer, I would pick Chevrolet on that one. Let's see. Coda brought to you by Demolition Derby Racing, says Damon. That's for sure. Cassandra Keller says, y'all hit that like button. It would be appreciated. Cassandra Keller going with Suarez at Coda. Yeah, Suarez at Coda is not a bad pick. It's basically like a home race for him. Rich L, wasabi to you, my friend. What's your favorite NASCAR track? And what's up from OJ and Toothpaste? Let's see here. My favorite NASCAR track would have to be North Wilkesboro because it was the first race I went to. And now that it is officially back on the schedule, it is my favorite track. But as far as favorite points paying race, it's always going to be Martinsville because it's the closest one to me. It's the track I've been to the most and I have the most memories of. As far as tracks that I traveled, Phoenix and Daytona are probably I don't know, flip a coin. They've been the most fun I've been to recently. I know somebody's going to say I need to go to Kansas. So I know I need to go to Kansas because apparently it's very similar to Phoenix. But of the 2 that I've traveled, I guess long distance, super long distance to go to, those are up there that I've seen a race. And I'm pretty sure if I saw a race at Bristol, I don't know. I'm pretty easy to please as far as a racetrack goes, I guess I should say. Mark Barnum says, hey, Rich, Joey Logano has 30 wins and isn't even close to retirement. Let that sink in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he gets to at least 50. I'm thinking at least 50, and he does have a chance to get 60 plus. No doubt about that. Rich L saying, yo, Mark, NASCAR will be left with their thumbs up their butt if they were seriously if there was a serious rival stock car association, kind of like the PGA and the LIV situation. Yeah, that that would definitely put a cramp in their style for sure. There's no doubt about that. That's a very good point. Jamie Schweitzer says recently moved from Kannapolis to Denver, North Carolina. The NASCAR belt. Yeah, you're all in the middle of it, man. That's no doubt about it. There is a team. What team? There's one team that runs out of Denver, North Carolina for sure. But yeah, there's definitely plenty of them close to Kannapolis, no doubt about that. And of course, Kannapolis being the hometown of Dale Earnhardt Sr. The band is saying, to be fair, they told Josh on the radio to do whatever you want. Maybe next time they should add, don't park the car at the start finish line and get out. That's for sure. Ghetto Streamline saying anyone can make me laugh. Give NASCAR the proverbial middle finger and have an epic mullet blowing all at the same time is definitely a guy I want to pull for. LOL. Yeah, so I think a lot of people are in your boat. I'm glad he's selling a lot of T-shirts and stuff, so hopefully that can fund his career a little bit as well. Duke Chronic, what's up, man? Good to see you on here. Ford has the arrow, and road is not a big deal. So there you go. Ford. So he's going with Ford, picking Ford for the Coda race here. Let's see here. 35% chance of rain, man. I'm pulling for it. I hope we get rain during the race. I want to see him race on rain tires. Hot rod shorts with that one. The rain tires are happening there? Question mark. I'm pulling for it. I'm hoping they happen. BK almost bagged a win. He's getting there, says Rich L. Yeah, he's turned that whole organization around, so good for him. Dude, Austin Hill is a beast. Just going on an absolute tear in the Xfinity series. Only one of 3 drivers to win 3 of the first 5 Xfinity races of the year. The other 2 being Mark Martin and Kyle Busch. So that is definitely elite company. I know people remember Kyle Busch right now because he's the most recent. But if you remember Mark Martin in that Winn-Dixie number 60, Mark Martin owned the Busch series, as it was called back then. Good point there, Ryan Perez. Nice statistic, man. Thanks for dropping that one. But yeah, that is definitely rare company to be in without a doubt. As far as that goes, Monster Unleashed had one of the drivers on their podcast, worth a watch. It is on YouTube. So, okay, there you go. Check out Monster Unleashed. I appreciate that, Mark Barnum. Mike Menzer says, do anyone think NASCAR should bump the charter count to 40 to have 43 car fields like back in the day? Yeah, I'd love to see good point, Mike Menzer. I would love to see a 43 car field in the future. I've been pushing for that for a long time. And I do like having 3 spots open for open entries that don't have a charter. No doubt about it. Dega is on my bucket list, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, Dega, that's another one that's on my bucket list. I've driven by it, driving across the country and stuff like that, but I've never been to it for an actual race. So that one's definitely on my list as well. And you definitely, you got to stay on the infield, no doubt about it. Mark Martin fan for life says Jordan Taylor gets the win, top equipment, top driver combination. Yeah, I mean, he could. He's just going to have to be able to keep up with adjustments on the car, and that's going to be hard for somebody that's in his situation, but I think easily top 15 for Jordan Taylor. Let's see here. Streamlab says, Mike Menzer, I don't think the owners would like that. It would probably make their existing charters worthless. I would like to see it, though. JRM to Cup, baby. Yeah, and RCR gets the other one to bring up Austin Hill. Let's see here, because that's wishful thinking. Cassandra Keller, Dega on my bucket list as well. You in the Washington State, right, Mark? So there you go. Talladega is on Cassandra's bucket list. Those cars sounded good at North Wilkesboro, says Chris R. Yeah, North Wilkesboro is awesome. Dega is my Graceland. Someday I will be in the infield, says Duke Chronic. I like that. Dega is my Graceland. That should be a t-shirt. Talladega is missing an opportunity with that one. No, he's in Mark's in Iowa, Cassandra. So there you go. Ghetto Streamlabs. Dega is my home track. Haven't missed a race since 1984, except the year where everybody had to stay at home. Mark is love. Go to Dega. Mark, I love to go to Dega, says Rich L. So there you go. One wise guy says, did you catch the last laps of the 12 hours of Sebring? I didn't catch that, but I did see the highlight where the leaders of one class all wrecked each other at the same time. It was like the 3 cars that were 1, 2, 3 in their division all wrecked each other. So that stunk. I didn't get to see much of the Sebring race other than that, though. But I do need to go back and watch it. And Cassandra said the Sebring race was crazy. Mark Martin is releasing more diecast on his website. I think one is of his first Cup wins, says Rich L. That's pretty cool. anytime you can get throwback diecast, that's pretty awesome to me. Now, Duke Chronic says NASCAR should sell 2 charters and give the money to teams like expansion in other sports. That's definitely the way they need to go about it if they sell some more charters. Give some of that revenue to the owners, which would pacify them just a little bit, right? Let's see here. Escobar, because they want more TV money is what I was talking about there. Speaking of Mark Martin and in the 60 Winn-Dixie car, do you remember when he pulled on the pit road a lap early when the race was ending under caution at Dover? I do. Gave away a win. I hated it for him. That was the worst. Juan Pablo Montoya hitting the jet dryer is the only thing I would put up above that as far as just people having a mental lapse in a race car. Josh Strickland, Dega, my home track. Remember about half my visits. Bristol is my favorite. So there you go. So at least you remember half of them. You know you had a good time even if you don't remember them. There you go. Jamie Schweitzer, I call Ryan Blaney to win Coda and Bubba to finish last place, says Jamie Schweitzer. I think you picked Bubba to finish last in the other race this other weekend, and you were. It was looking like a good pick early, but BJ McLeod snatched victory away from you at just the last moment there. My final 4 would be the 22, the 24, the 4, and the 19. What do you think? What would y'all's final 4 be? Let's see. 22 is looking good right now. Definitely the 24. Kevin Harvick, I like that one. Martin Truex, yeah, that's a solid pick there. I would slide Kyle Larson in there at some point because he's looked good, and I'd also put Kyle Busch in there somewhere. But I don't know who I would take out. So fair play to you. William Wagaman says, at sea, we're in the final lap. They were trying to get to the bathroom. LOL. Yeah, so if you watch the very end of my big, long 9-minute recap video, sorry it was so long, I did put the Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin incident at the very end of it. So if you want to watch it, feel free to scroll to the very end of it. I did put it in there. Mr. Pearson says, "What's up, guys? Cheers, Mr. Pearson. Good to see you on here, buddy." Hot Rod Shorts. I've been to Dega, an amazing experience in person. It is a must, no doubt about it. I can't wait to go there. And definitely when I start that road trip, I'm going to hit that Eric Church Talladega song. Because that's just the only way to start that road trip. Cheers, Mr. Pearson, says Stupid Roofer. Howdy from Canada. Robert Marks is in the house. I wasn't late, technically. Ross didn't bump Harvick. Oh, my. But didn't lots jump on him and blame him, says Robert Marks. Yeah, that was people can't wait to blame Ross Chastain. They've just decided he's going to be the bad guy, and that's the way it is. No benefit of the doubt for him. But it is what it is. He's entered that Earnhardt territory where he's going to get equal boos and cheers going forward. But so far, it's been mostly cheers. Special race at Coda. The 4 JRM will be no winner because they will all wreck each other out. LOL, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, they got to get that tightened up over there at JRM. They can't be wrecking each other. Owl says, any thoughts on Josh Williams' suspension? I think it's a fair suspension because he did walk across a hot track, and we've seen in the past that it is a one-race suspension anytime you walk across a hot track, and that's what he got suspended for. So I think the suspension is fair, but I'm glad they didn't fine him money, and I'm glad they didn't take points away from him. Owl says also the charter system is a massive scam. I agree, but you got it in there now, and it's going to be super hard to ever get rid of it. So it is what it is. We have to deal with it at this point. Let's see. I would like to see a relegation system where the 4 lower finishing charters get relegated to the Xfinity Series, and the 4 Xfinity Series teams that are highest in points that also have charters would be moved up. That would be the only way, in my opinion, to really fix that. Rich L says, "What's up, Canada?" And "What's up, Robin?" KM says NASCAR consistently hangs the drivers from smaller teams out to dry. Just look at the Brandon Brown situation. It's almost like they forgot those teams were the foundation of the sport. I agree with you. The Carl Long thing has always irritated me, that they were trying to get rid of him and they tried to do it in such a shady way. Basically, I'll die on that hill. I was not a fan of how they treated Carl Long. And I think I said Carl Edwards again, but I meant Carl Long. How many times does it take to wreck a jet dryer? Just once. Just once, Rich L. Michael Waltrip's crash at Bristol is a memory. Yeah, he basically just got up and walked out of the car because there was no car left. Streamlabs says David Nyoff, that car is in the museum at Talladega. So there you go. Need to check that out too. I didn't even know Talladega had a museum. So there you go. Robert Marks, to be fair, Montoya's car suffered a rear suspension failure. It was bum luck. it was bum luck, but that's not going to stop people from trolling on him without a doubt. And I say that as a Montoya fan. There's a Montoya car back there somewhere. You can see it on the regular episodes. I think I like to see Harvick make the Final Four in his last season. I hope he makes the Final Four in his last season. It's just one of those deals. Final Four will be the 8, Kyle Busch. I like that one. The 20, Christopher Bell. I like that one. Sneaky. Not a lot of people are talking about Christopher Bell, but I like that one. Joe Logano, definitely a solid pick. And the number 2 of Austin Cindric. So there you go. Taking a big leap with Cindric, but he definitely is capable of doing it. Rich Hill, it just takes one. Talking about how many times does it take to, how many cars does it take to wreck a jet dryer? Just one. So there you go. One wise guy says, have you ever seen Eric Jones in-car cam of him going from 17th to 8th on the final lap? I did. I saw that one after I made my recap video, but I definitely would have included that one in there too. And if you check it out, if you check it out on Twitter, somebody has set it to the gosh, I wish I could remember who did that on Twitter. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But somebody said it to Freebird. And if you watch it as the music of Freebird is playing, it makes it even better. It makes everything better. Freebird, one of the greatest songs of all time. Let's see. Bodon's Crash at Charlotte is right up there as well. Yeah, that's another good one. Rich L says, man, I'm bombing like David Letterman. Drum roll, please, says Rich L. No, that was a good one, dude. That's a good one for sure. I liked it. Let's see. William Wagman says, Final Four at Coda, 5, the 24, the 8, and the 84. Oh, there you go. Jimmy Johnson. Showing some Jimmy Johnson love in there. I like it. That's a solid lineup there. Let's see. Kyle Larson has an average finish of 15.5 with 1 top 5 and a worst finish of 29th. So obviously at some point he had some type one of those races at Coda he had trouble. Let's see. Chastain going to drop a watermelon from the tower. Let's see here. Yeah, I saw that, and Eric Jones said he would catch it. I just lost my spot there. There it is. Mark Barnum. Chastain is going to drop a watermelon off the tower at Coda. Wonder if he will write Hamlin's name all over it. LOL. That's pretty funny, and that's fair. That's fair. And Eric Jones said he would catch it. So that's check that out on Twitter too. Eric Jones has been he's been firing on all cylinders on Twitter. Hopefully he can fire on all cylinders at this race and turn his season around. That 8th, maybe he'll give him some momentum. Owl says, KM, can you blame NBC for throwing Brandon Brown out of NASCAR? You can blame NBC for throwing Brandon Brown out of NASCAR. Yeah, that was the stupid start finish line stuff. Like, that's why you should always do the interviews in victory lane. Escobar, in JPM's defense, something broke in his car. Yeah, I agree 100%. But that's not how the filthy casual NASCAR fans are ever going to see it. So it sort of is what it is. Yeah, I agree. I know something. Either the steering box locked up or he had a suspension. We were actually talking about this today at work. Or a suspension part broke, and none of us could remember if the steering box locked up or if the suspension broke. So yeah. News: SSGL, WJL, and Blaine Perkins have mutually SS green light, I guess is what we're going with here. Blaine Perkins have mutually parted ways effective immediately after a difficult start to the 2023 Xfinity Series season. Carson Hocevar will attempt to make his series debut in Coda in the 07. So there you go. Hocevar is in at SS green light. And Blaine Perkins is out. So there you go. Appreciate that, Moulton. Thank you very much. Not many drivers can say they won in F1, IndyCar, NASCAR, and sports cars. And IMSA says Escobar. Yeah, that's a fact. Like, I'm a big Juan Pablo Montoya fan. I've got at least 2 Juan Pablo Montoya shirts. Yeah, I'm not hating on him, but he's definitely, unfortunately, a lot of people, that's going to be his one NASCAR highlight they remember. So that sucks. Molten Rage, what's up, man? Who had that on their bingo card? Carson making his debut this weekend in the 07. Of course, he has 2 races away, and because that car has little to no owner points, but still has to race his way in. I got you. So yeah, I think he'll be okay. Quick question for the chat: is anyone going to Austin for this weekend's race? I will not be there. I will be in Florence, South Carolina for the Cars Tour race. But I would like to make it to Coda one year, maybe one day. Robin Marks, I owe Mark Barnum a beer for the repeat. Sent it, then read it above. Says Robin Marks. Hey, it's all good. All good. Let's see here. Damon Cuss says, Regarding Josh parking the car, best suspension one could ever get. I had no idea who he was. Hey, there you go. I spot watch Xfinity. Now I have a driver. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Best career move he could make. Yeah. So sometimes it's worth it, right? Like Denny Hamlin, basically in the same situation. I think he had to know he was going to get some type of fine for saying he wrecked Ross Chastain on purpose. But I think he did the math on it. He's like, hey, it was worth it to get the views and the clicks on my TV show or his podcast or whatever you want to call it. Streamlab says the museum at Talladega is epic. They have Earnhardt Wing and Alabama Gang and Davey Allison Wing. I'm already sold. And tons of cars from every NASCAR year. Mikey's Bristol car is sprawled across the floor in the corner. That's rad. So I'm going to have to check that out. I got to add that to the list. Rich L says Ross looked like he was going 4x4 out of the pits. Off-roading. Ross got all four wheels in the grass almost, if not did in fact accomplish it on pit road. Like that guy, he gives 0 Fs and he just goes for it. It's infectious. You either like it or you don't, right? I like the way the guy drives. He's driving like his career is on the line, and I hope he always keeps that mentality because it makes racing interesting. Hopefully he doesn't wreck a ton of other people, but you know what I'm saying. Hopefully he stays aggressive and does all that crazy stuff without taking out a whole bunch of people. Obviously, if he's taking out your driver, I understand you hating Ross Chastain. It is what it is. I pulled for Earnhardt. I've dealt with it, so it is what it is. Ross Chastain is definitely in my top 10 though. International Motorsports Hall of Fame. I think they have a website. It's like $15 for a day pass. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be doable. $15 is right up my alley. That's reasonable, and I respect them for making it that inexpensive. Aaron Flynn says, thanks Williams and Jamie. Thank William and Jamie. Yep, there you go. So William and Jamie. Aaron is appreciating you. Let's see here. Duke Chronic says Mike Joy did his keyboard warrior comment again Sunday. Old troll. So that's pretty funny. People are trolling Mike Joy, and then the people that are trolling Mike Joy are getting angry because Mike Joy is trolling them back. So it's the most it's the most unserious thing ever, but people are making it so much more serious than it really is. Mike Joy is not trolling everybody that is on the internet. Mike Joy is literally trolling the people that troll him, but the people are getting so butthurt about it. It's hilarious. Mike Joy, who had that on their bingo card? Mike Joy trolling the internet without using a keyboard. How about that? So Mike Menzer, do you think NASCAR should run both the Roval and the Oval at Indianapolis Motor Speedway and run both with IndyCar on the same weekend, like do the Roval? Says Mike Menzer. Like a lot of, at least one person in here, Aldis, I don't know if he's on here tonight, but he brings that up all the time. He would like to have an Indianapolis weekend, like an Indianapolis Speed Weeks, like they used to have at Daytona for Speed Weeks down there. And that would be pretty cool. So I think it would be a cool idea. I don't know if they'll ever actually do it, but I like the idea of it for sure. Willow Spicewood says quite a few Cup drivers in the Xfinity race. Yeah, Coda, NASCAR is basically getting a free all-star race with all the international drivers in the Cup race. And then you've got a bunch of Cup drivers in the Xfinity race. So this is shaping up to be NASCAR's unofficial second all-star race. So I think it's lined up pretty cool. If you've got a ticket to Coda, you definitely got your money's worth. Owl says, Mike Menzer, I would prefer not running the Oval at all for NASCAR. So there you go. There are traditionalists that don't want any cars on the Oval except for open wheel cars. That is definitely a thing. I remember that from back in the day, like the very first race they ever had there. That was a huge issue. Molten Rage says Eric Almirola returning to NASCAR Xfinity Series as he will drive the number 08 for SS Greenlight Racing at Coda, and Eric Almirola and Carson Chase Hocevar. Carson Hocevar as teammates is interesting, and could we see the Bacon King return to Xfinity? Hey, there you go. For those who don't remember, Eric Almirola was really good in the Xfinity Series as well. Mark Barnum says, Molten, sure hope Custer ups his game soon. Herbst another top 10 last weekend. In case you're new, Molten Rage is a huge Cole Custer fan, and that is some light trolling, some good-natured fun aimed at Molten Rage there. So let's see. Aaron Flynn, I have more picks. Let's see who wins the next few weeks. Probably going to update my Final Four in a few months. Okay, so I like that. I like to update mine every week because every week I think somebody different is going to be in the Final Four because the playoffs are just so unpredictable. Old Home Guy says the 43 was stellar at the end. Yeah, it's one of the coolest things I've ever watched. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted out there Eric Jones dialed up his inner Cole Trickle because it looked like some straight days of thunder stuff where he's just like literally driving through the field. Like it was insane. I never thought I'd see it in an actual race. Rich L says, I don't want Ross to change either. Yeah, he makes the sport interesting. You don't need 43 guys like that, but it is nice to have one or two guys like that. Molten Rage says Custer gets to meet and race with Eric this weekend and see what his interaction with Carson is going to be like. Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure. Not as interesting as Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek's interaction. Always fun to see them on the same racetrack. I like to see them get together one more time. Let's see. Eric Amarola driving a Chevy this weekend is interesting, and the number 08. Yeah, that is kind of flying under the radar just a little bit. It makes you wonder about Stuart Haas Racing. Are they trying to tell us something without telling us something? You know, Aldous says, "Hey, BB, Atlanta right now is not a super speedway, even with the extra banking added. And why not run unrestricted?" Says Aldous. First up, what's up, Aldous? And I agree. I think in the future they're going to take the super speedway package off the cars there because the inside is going to be so wore out that it's probably going to race similar to a high-speed Martinsville with banking or a Darlington, although they don't have the oval-shaped corner like Darlington has. So I think it'll be a one-groove racetrack, but it'll be high-speed and race similar to those tracks. Do you prefer radio broadcast compared to the TV broadcast? Says Al. Yeah, I think the radio always does a better job, just because they don't have the picture to fall back on, so they have to be more on point. Streamlabs says I don't like Ross personally. But NASCAR needs them. Kyle B and Brad have mellowed out a bit. Harvick is retiring. We need big personality drivers to make it entertaining. Yeah, so that's basically, I like him, but that's also where I stand on it too. You got to have one or two drivers like that who are just not going to conform to the norm. Eric's driving a Ford, Mark. It's confirmed, says Molten Rage. Oh, so there you go. It is going to be a Ford. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. Like I said, just getting in, have not had a chance to. I've seen the highlights of the news. I haven't had a chance to really parse through it. Streamlab Damon says, I don't like how he drives, but he seems like a nice guy. That or a brilliant act, says Damon. So there you go. Escobar says the lowdown, talking about Ross Chastain there, by the way. The low downforce package needs to be at all races, says Escobar. I agree with that. I'm not going to disagree with you there. Mark Barnum, Molten, I'm surprised with SS Greenlight being a Chevy team. Yeah, so that I didn't know. I didn't know he was going to race a Ford either. So that's interesting stuff there. Just so everyone knows, I am a JRM and Hendrick Motorsports guy. Plus, I like Trackhouse, says Mike Menzer. So there you go. Basically, more or less a Chevy guy there. So I think a lot of Chevy guys are kind of like that. They've got their favorite Chevy team, but they've sort of pulled for all Chevy teams. Pretty sure the Ford fans are like that too. They got their favorite Ford drivers, but they sort of pull for all the Ford fans. And Toyota's got two teams. So, I mean, why not like all six of your Toyota drivers if you're a Toyota person? So, let's see. I root for Cole Custer on behalf of Molten Rage, says Bo Darvel. I think there's a lot of us in here that I pulled for Cole Custer before that just because of the Old Spice commercials back in the day, and also the John Hunter Nemechek fight. I was a Cole Custer fan ever since then. But I think there's a lot of people in here that pull extra hard for Cole Custer just because of Molten. Let's see here. T-Van says, "What's up? I'm late." What's up, T-Van? You're never late. You're like a wizard. You're always here at the exact moment you need to be here. Duke Chronic, who's going to drive the 92 for Josh's suspension? That's going to be Alex LeBay of the Penty Series, former Penty Series driver. He's driven a few Xfinity Series races, but he's a Penty Series champion, and he's definitely he's going to rock that car at a road course, I would guess. Owl says, "Oh, it's Alice." Care to explain? Oh, staying out of that one. Yeah, that's Twink's Jaws. Let's see here. Molten Ray says SS Greenlight is switching between Ford and Chevy this season. For some reason, they just can't be one OEM. So yeah, there you go. They're hopping around. So that's actually kind of cool to see. You actually used to see that way back in the day. There would be teams that would switch manufacturers throughout the season. They drive a Buick some, they drive a Ford some, just whatever they thought had the advantage of that track. So that's actually kind of a throwback. Aaron Flynn, got my picks for Xfinity and Craftsman too. Anyone want to talk about that? Go ahead and shoot them out here, dude. Somebody's already picked Kyle Busch for the Craftsman truck race. Xfinity Series race. I'm going to go wild card Alex LeBay. Let's see. Who wins the road course in Xfinity? Let me ponder on that for just a minute. Let's see here. Damon Cuz, yeah, that's a fair assessment. Even the drivers I despise, I seem to be really good dudes off the track. Ross is no different in that regard. So Streamlabs, so there you go. And that's kind of where I stand on all drivers. I might not like what a driver does on the racetrack, but they all so far, at least right now, seem to be pretty good dudes off the track. And ladies in Haley Deegan's part and situation. Mark Barnum, I want Custer and Herbst to both make the playoffs. I think that could definitely happen. I think Cole Custer is going to turn it around at some point. He's definitely going to make the playoffs. Let's see. When is the first race at Ace Speedway, says Cooter Yeti? I think it's in April. I think it's the first weekend of April, if I'm not mistaken. T-Van says, TV coverage sucks anymore. Give me BB. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get something going as far as that goes. I'm going to definitely need better internet. So hopefully, what is it? Starlink, Elon Musk's deal. Hopefully that hurries up and gets out here. Who all practiced the trucks at North Wilkesboro? First time for trucks at that track, says old home guy. I know Carson Hocevar was one of them, but I can't call it on the rest of them. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see. I've been busy this week, unfortunately. So sort of low effort on the YouTube side of things, but we're gonna pump that up tomorrow. Let's see, Aldis. NASCAR needs to return to the 2010 Super Speedway package. It was a hybrid of tandem racing and pack racing, and bumpers need to align again. I do agree with the bumpers needing to align again, and they need to be flatter for sure. Owl says, T-Van, you could also tune in to the radio broadcast as well. So yeah, a lot of people listen to the radio broadcast, listen to the radio broadcast while watching the race, and there's about a 7-second delay on that. So you'll hear what happens before it actually happens. But it's I don't know, it's a time tested tradition, and it works. Even as far back as at least the 80s. So I can claim that that's to be true. Damon Cuz says Brandon Jones is doing a Logano crap at JGR, then wakes up just seeing him on my radar as of late. Rather Penske grabbed him instead of Cindric. Jones is maturing and in a Penske car. Hey, so that could happen. You never know. At JRM right now, but he could. Eric Jones. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be one of the better drivers. Hopefully, he stays at Legacy in that 43. But he would be definitely somebody that SHR, if they wanted to pick up another driver, he would definitely be on that list because contracts are made to be broken, right? But hopefully he stays at Legacy Motor Club. Hot Rod Shorts, Atlanta was mentioned. Fun fact, some scenes from Zombieland were filmed at Atlanta Motors. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. I do like that movie. Hostess truck scene and the zombie in the bathroom scene is one in the parking lot bathrooms. Oh, that's rad. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That's cool. I'll have to rewatch that movie now just to see those scenes. My updated Final Four for Cup. The 77, the 78, the 51, and the 31 says OJ and Toothpaste. Well, I think the 31 is a stone cold lead pipe lock right now as it stands. So I like that one. Of course, we have Earth 2 for those who are new. OJ and Toothpaste, the drivers that finish the worst are leading the points in Earth 2. So this is what we're talking about here. 77 is definitely a lock. 78, definitely a lock. And 50, you know what? That's a solid Final Four. I don't see that getting shaken up at any points. Of course, 77 almost ruined his chances this weekend by finishing in the 20s. But we expect him to get back to his normal on par of finishing last or first in Earth 2. Let's see. Owl says, hey, Bologna Burger, I would suggest checking out GeForce TV when it comes to their coverage of the Penty series. Okay, so I'll check them out. GeForce TV, let me write that down. All right, I'll check them out. The Penty series is actually really fun to watch. I watch it usually in the off season and catch up with it. And it just sort of helps me fill my gap as far as off-season content goes, is just as far as having stuff to watch, stuff that I watch. Kyle Weatherman will win this weekend, probably, says OJ and Toothpaste. Like, all jokes aside, I hope he does. Like, Earth 1 or Earth 2. Like, Kyle Weatherman needs to get a win. Like, if you want to go NASCAR power rankings, it's the 3 Kyles and everybody else. That's just all there is to it. Ghetto Streamlabs. Dinger is a good pick. Yeah, that's. Is he racing in Xfinity? If he's racing in Xfinity, then yeah, for sure, I'm picking him. Let's see here. Monray said, my winner pick for Xfinity is AJ because he's the GOAT on road courses, but my dark horse is Cole Custer because he's really good on road courses. He's gotten better and is on a better team. You know what? Cole Custer is good at road courses, and I'm going to go contrarian. Everybody's going to pick AJ Allmendinger. I'm riding with you, Molten Rage. Cole Custer turns the season around this weekend at Coda and wins that race at Coda. So there you go. We're riding with you in the 00. Hopefully the wheels don't fall off. Hopefully I don't give you bad luck by picking him, but it can't be any worse luck than he's had so far. Alda says this time NASCAR goes back to CBS and ESPN and live stream on YouTube. That would be a good package because I would just watch it streaming on YouTube. So Zane Smith, Hocevar, and Corey Heim did the tire test at North Wilkesboro today. So there was Zane Smith. I knew Hocevar was in there because I saw his tweet. Zane Smith was the other one, and Corey Heim. So there you go, Corey Heim. That's pretty cool. I guess he was the Toyota man. Zane Smith was the Ford man, and Hocevar, I guess, was the Chevy man. So there you go. Old Home Guy, be sure to share this channel with people and help it grow. I appreciate it, Home Guys. Yeah, if you would like to share the channel with others, that would definitely help us, and it would be much appreciated. Aaron Flynn, 7 Xfinity and 88 in the Craftsman Truck Series. There you go. I like those picks. Very solid. Molten Ray says, happy to have Amarola and Rush Truck Center join the 08 Ford Performance Mustang powered by Roush Yates this weekend at Coda. SS Greenlight for the win there. Willow Spicewood, what difference do you see without cautions at stages? Depends on gas mileage and tire wear. I think you're just going to see a lot more strategy, and that's what road course racing is all about. So I think strategy, it's going to get strung out. All road course races always get strung out. But you're never going to know who's actually got the upper hand because the strategy is going to be all over the place. There's going to be guys on 2 pit stops. There's going to be people going for 3 pit stops. And usually by the end of the race, it actually usually ends up being a pretty close finish for first and second. So it's just going to be something that you really have to pay attention to. If you're used to like if you want to see side-by-side racing and stuff like that, that's not that. But if you want to see basically what would be the equivalent of a high-speed chess match, that's essentially what's going to be going on at a road course. And if you like that, then you like road course racing. If you don't, you're probably one of the people that doesn't like road course racing. And either way is fair enough. Mark Barnum says SHR and SS Greenlight need to put Haley in the 5 or 6. Need to put Haley in for 5 or 6 Xfinity races this year. I think she'll get at least that this year, no doubt about it. Someone will steal Eric Jones from the 43, says Duke Chronic. I hope not, but I'm not going to disagree with you. Sonny V says, sync up the PRN and MRN with the TV and listen to it when the TV goes to commercial or the entire PRN MRN broadcast when the coverage switches to NBC. Yeah, like no doubt. That's what a lot of people do. I don't even sync it up. I just listen to it. Like I just let it roll like it is. I'm good with it. I'm okay with the 7-second delay. Earth 2 needs to happen, says T-Van. Yeah, maybe one day, when if this ever becomes like my full-time job, I will make a channel for Baloney Burger Earth 2, and we will just do the reverse of everything as far as points and finishing goes. Let's see here. This is a hot take. Return to the 4th of July Daytona and run the road course at 10 a.m. So it won't be a wreck fest. Slap recommended that on his schedule. He's pretty much on top of things. Like I've never seen a video by Slap Shoes that I disagree with. So if he puts it down, I'm co-signing and I'm riding with it there. Especially watch all of his new videos about saving short tracks. I'm definitely riding with him. I'm definitely team Slap Shoes on saving short tracks on that one too. Old Home Guy says Legacy has money. They could lock up Jones in the 43 for a while. There's not a better driver for that car available. I agree with you, Home Guy. And I think they do have money for the future as well. 84 Cup, Jimmy is running right, says Aaron Flynn. Yes, Jimmy Johnson is running this weekend. NASCAR guy, what's up? PK wins. Let's see here. Molten Rage says Derek Kraus makes his Xfinity debut in the number 10 Chevrolet starting at Richmond next weekend. So there you go. Derek Kraus still alive and kicking and still in the NASCAR Touring Series. T-Van, I'm going with Brandon Jones for the win. So, yeah, Brandon Jones, he can get it done for sure. He's got to turn his season around at some point. OJ and Toothface, you're kind of shocked. Rick Hendrick didn't give Ty Dillon a call to drive the 9 instead of Josh Berry. Yeah, no doubt about it. When you've got basically a former champion in that Spire equipment, you would think he would at least reach out to him and make a phone call. Streamlabs says, "Yeah, I'm 6'1", 215, and ripped with perfect cholesterol on Earth 2. Great place that Earth 2. LOL." Says Streamlabs. Yeah, Earth 2 is where it's at, man. Earth 2, I'm with you, man. Duke Chronic's laughing at that. Sunday's race at Coda will mark AJ Allmendinger 400 start in the Cup. 400 starts for AJ Allmendinger. He doesn't seem like he's had that many races, but I guess it's awesome. I can't believe it's 400 starts. Daggum, we're all getting old. Damon says, I love this format and channel freeform discussion. Hang loose to the Bologna Burger, brother, for hosting this for us. I appreciate it, Damon. Let's see here. Duke Chronic says road racing used to be the pits when you can make pit when you can make it. Oh yeah, no doubt. But sometimes if there's enough tire fall off at a road course, they'll go for one more extra stop, and they try to time that out to where they'll get the maximum advantage of those tires. So it can get all kinds of crazy. And then just like a late caution can throw a monkey wrench into anything. So that's what I said. It's like a high-speed chess match. I love it. I'm definitely with you, though. I pit as soon as I know I can make it on gas. As soon as I know I can make it on gas, I pit, and we're going. Let's see. Streamlab says, in my kid's mind on Earth 2. Yeah. All children act right on Earth 2. That's what makes Earth 2 beautiful. Old Home Guy says, has Dale Jr. Ever driven in the truck series? That's a good. I don't think he has. I don't remember him if he has. Is there a Dale Jr.? I'm not a Dale Jr. expert at all. But let me know down in the comments if he's ever driven in the truck series. I don't think he has. Aldous says Corey LaJoy should be in the top tier equipment. Say in the 48. He's improved a lot this season. Unfortunately, he won't be in any type of Hendrick equipment anytime soon, but he could get locked up by another team. They signed the 48 guy, Alex Bowman, for a while there. How about Gibbs for a long shot Sunday, says Sonny V? Yeah, Ty Gibbs is actually pretty good at road courses, so I wouldn't sleep on him in Gibbs equipment either. So that's not a bad pick. Cup racing, I'm saying Blaney for the win. Blaney's not a bad pick there. He has a 11.5 average finish. With 1 top 10 and 2 top 20s. Let's see here. I like how Fox's version of promoting stuff in the sport by showing the same family on the broadcast over and over again. Yeah, they could show more families than that because there's definitely more of them. Let's see here. RK, I love the channel. Keep up the great work. Number 8, Kyle Busch. Yeah, Kyle Busch is gonna have a good chance to sweep the weekend again. He's a pretty good road course racer too, so don't count him out, and don't forget about him. And this is also a track he hasn't won at yet, I think. So yeah, I don't think he's won here yet. So he likes to check off those tracks. So don't sleep on Kyle Busch here, especially since the car he's sitting in, the number 8 car, was probably the best road course car overall average last season altogether. Let's see here. NASCAR guys saying PK for the win. So there you go. Going PK for the win once again. Let's see. Molten Ray says go or go home drivers is Garrett Smithley, Carson Hocevar, William Byron, Sage Karam, Preston Pardo, Brad Perez, Lawrence. I can't say that guy's last name. And Miguel Paludo. Leguzamon. I'm going to go with Leguzamon there. So there you go. Somebody might steal Eric Jones. Yeah. I hope they don't. But yeah, there's a good chance KM, so embarrassing. They seem like an old person trying to act hip. I don't know what we're talking about there. Let's see here. Corey LaJoy talked about his success this year on Sirius XM. Talking about NASCAR with who they show on certain things. Yeah, they just need to do it naturally, but it is what it is. They're trying. So I'd rather them try than not try at all. So it is what it is. Streamlab says Corey LaJoy talked about his success this year on Sirius XM. Said had Hendrick engines scheduled for every race this year. Team only had them for 8 races last year. So there you go. He's got a pig under the hood, so he's ready to go. Let's go for this weekend's triple header. Weekend at Coda and Indy. First weekend of May, Indy Road Course. Saturday, IndyCar Cup and F1 on Sunday. Second weekend of October, Coda. So there you go. Aldis with his updated schedule. And, of course, he has the Indianapolis Speed Weeks going as well. He was, at least as far as I know, the originator of that idea. Late to the party, had to watch my Orlando Magic catch that W. What's up, all? What's up, say Kyle? Hope you're doing good, man. And congratulations on the Magic getting that win. Let's see here. Rich L's going with the dinger at the road course for both races, I would imagine here. NASCAR Cup Series drivers, double duty at Coda, Kaz Gralla, Eric Almirola, AJ Allmendinger, Willie B., Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Parker Kligerman, Josh Bilicki, Carson Hocevar. So there you go. A lot of double duty going on. Appreciate that, Moulton. OJ and Toothpaste says Earth 2 Larson is driving the 77 car. No. Earth 2 Kyle Larson is driving for the championship GOAT of Rick Ware Racing on Earth 2. Rick Ware Racing with the 4-car team, without a doubt, on Earth 2. That's where Kyle Larson and who else will be? Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch are driving over there in Earth 2. I want to see Lane Riggs run and Kyle Weatherman, the 3 Kyles for Rick Ware Racing. I want to see Lane Riggs run the Nesquik car, says T-Van. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys follow Lane Riggs, but somebody made a fantasy Nesquik truck and tweeted it out, and he retweeted it. So check that one out. But, yeah, definitely would be cool to see him run the next tail. Nesquik colors. Blech. Try talking. I've tried it all day, and it hasn't worked at all. Aldis Carosa, brand new to talking. Sorry. I love how NBC covers NASCAR nowadays, but there's the problem with them. They're the reason why NASCAR has playoffs now, and they suck up a lot to the idiotic playoff format. Well, yeah, they're certain, in my opinion, I can't prove it, but it's just my opinion, conspiracy theory, put on your tinfoil hat. NASCAR gives them certain talking points that they have to drum up. They basically have to say certain things about certain things, and that's in my opinion, and that's where I'll leave it. But yeah, that's why that happens. Mark Barnum says 400 starts because he sucked so bad in Cup before, going back to Xfinity. LOL. That, and he had the bad test for taking supplements or whatever it was. At least that's the story. At least Alda says no, Dale Jr. hasn't been in the Truck Series ever. B says, nope, Junior never drove in trucks. I said a few years ago before retiring he would never do it. M43 Video says, would Denny hire Ross if he was available? That's a good question. I think you'd be a fool not to, in my opinion. Dale Jr. and Matt Kenseth drove in the Penske Series, says Duke Chronic. I didn't know that, so there you go. That's pretty cool. Like I said, if you haven't seen the Penske Series, check it out. I don't think Junior ever ran a truck. He didn't, T-Van, so there you go. Old home guy, be wild if Dale Jr. drove a race for Kyle Busch. Yep, but apparently he's not going to, according to Dick Jr., which he's changed his mind before, he is not going to drive in the truck series. Eric Jones in the 9 in Cup, Chase Elliott in the 88 in Cup in 2026, says Aaron Flynn. That would be pretty cool. I think Chase Elliott's going to keep the 9, though. OJ and Toothpaste, do you remember the Lowe's Motor Speedway chase race in 2006 when Mark Martin got taken out by J.J. Yaley because he made a late decision to come stop on pit road? I do, and that was painful, unfortunately. J.J. Yaley highlights. Kyle Busch won the 2021 Xfinity Coda race. There you go. I'm talking about Cup Series, but yeah, you're right. He did win the Xfinity race there. I'm talking about Cup Series. Sorry. You're right, Moulton. I should have been more specific there. Duke Chronic, Garrett Smithley is in the 4 at Coda. He is in the race. Hey, there you go. Garrett Smithley taking over in the 4 car. That was somewhat controversial, I think, because of who he replaced. I didn't think that guy would ever be walking, but Garrett Smithley reunited in the 4 car there. Let's see. I would love to see Eric Jones and Hendrick Equipment for a race. Yeah, I would too. Like I said, he's coming to his own now and he's ready to go, but he seems pretty loyal to who he's with there. Streamlabs, LMO, the Rick Ware goat. Yep, goat. They are the goats of Earth 2. How many championships Hendrick has, double it for Rick Ware Racing in Earth 2. If I was a driver, as soon as I got a win during the regular season, I would get a concussion and take a vacation until I was miraculously better 1 week before the playoffs started, says KM. I wouldn't do that, but I would definitely go into full R&D mode for Phoenix. I'll tell you that much. OJ and Toothpaste, thoughts on Ja Morant situation in the NBA. Ja Morant is a upper middle class kid that is playing Cowboys and Indians. That's my opinion on Ja Morant. Super talented player, but he's pretending to be something that he's not. KM says the more you complicate the sport, the more cracks in the foundation that form. I agree with that, KM. They need to just let NASCAR be NASCAR and stop trying to like shoehorn it into stick and ball sports. Stop trying to make it the NFL. Stop trying to make it like regular sports. NASCAR is NASCAR, and it needs to be the motorsport that it is. T-Van, I might get an Earth. I might get an Earth 2 tattoo. If you get an Earth 2 tattoo, T-Van, you let me know, and I will find a way to send you a swag pack. That would be awesome. But don't let me encourage you into making bad decisions. Ghetto Streamlabs says KM, but you wouldn't have any playoff points. Yeah, in Earth 2 there are no playoffs. So there you go. But yeah, playoff points. Oh man, I'm not going to start on the playoffs today. You guys know I don't like them. But if you do like the playoffs, like more power to you. I'm not telling you how to enjoy your motorsports. I just don't like them. I want season long points, and it'll never happen. And I know it's fine. Have they announced the date for the Hendrick Motorsports appeal yet? Say Kyle, not Kyle. They have not, to my knowledge. Cup needs to do this for qualifying format at road courses. 2 1-hour practice sessions. I like that. 2 groups, 23 cars per group. I like that. Group 1 will determine the odd starting positions. And you can take it a step farther and just have 2 heat races, in my opinion, as well, and get rid of the stages. But that is definitely that is not a bad way of going about your business there. Sonny V, Kyle talking about young drivers not having any respect was kind of funny. Seems to have some amnesia there. Yeah, Ron Hornaday probably took serious issue to his comments there, right? As we get older, we forget how we acted as we were younger sometimes, and we say stupid things that are hypocritical. I'm guilty of it. He's guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. Let's see. KM, all you got to do is win in the playoffs. Points don't matter then. Theoretically, you could lock up the championship with 4 well-timed wins and take the rest of the season off. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, KM. Theoretically, you could win the championship without ever winning a race, which at the time they were trying to make a system where wins mattered, and that's all that was going on there. But ironically, they have created a system where you can win the championship without ever winning a race, technically. Molten Rage says, imagine on the last lap of Coda, Cole Custer is leading with a 5-second lead, 2 laps to go. Then Garrett Smithley is about to gets loose and wrecks Cole Custer, bringing out the last caution. Don't fantasize about things bad that haven't even happened yet, dude. Appreciate the super chat, M43 videos. Thank you very much for that, man. Let's see here. Sorry, I missed it earlier. Let's see. Thoughts on Jeff Burton sponsorless car in the 31 when NASCAR said no to the AT&T logos in the 2007 season. There's more to it than that. So AT&T bought out Singular Wireless solely to sort of get on that car, more or less. So there's more to it than that, in my opinion. I haven't seen the video. I need to look at the video and watch it because I'm sure there's more detail and layers to it than that. But I remember it back in the day. I just thought it was funny that they couldn't put the logo on it, so he just had to race this blank car. But the reason that he could do it for so long is because it was held up in court for such a long period of time that they actually were able to run the AT&T logo on there for a long period of time while it was being arbitrated or looked at in court. Streamlabs with the super chat, man. Oh, thank you so much for that, dude. Love this channel. So glad you hit my feed a few weeks ago. I appreciate it, Streamlabs. I'm glad I hit it too. Hopefully I can hit some more streams here and we can keep building and growing and rolling with this thing because it's definitely fun. No doubt about that. Let's see here. Aaron Flynn, I'm thinking RFK with 5 wins this year. They've definitely had speed. They've had more speed than they've had good finishes. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Kenny Wallace in the booth next year for Fox would be amazing. That's a pretty solid team there. Alan Bestwick doing the SRX deal. At least he's back somewhere. Moulton said, imagine having the pain for Custer, having dominated a race. I don't know, man. Don't get down on it before it ever happens. Stay positive, dude. Redtail, Aaron, I sure hope so. Willow Spicewood says, hope Reddick feels better this coming week. I hope he does too, because this is one of his better tracks. He has an average finish of 7th here with 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. Average starting position is 2.5. Best finish is 5th, and his worst finish is 9th. So definitely a good track for him. I love this playoff system. We used to crown a champion who was literally the best driver for an entire season. They should have a WWE belt with this point system, says Streamlabs. Streamlabs, you're dead on. That's exactly how I feel about it too. But it is what it is. I've done this poll numerous times, but it always comes out about 60-40 or a little bit more, sometimes 66-33. So there is 33 to 40% of people who do like the playoffs. So I can't deny that NASCAR has one over those fans, but I do think they would like it better if we had a season long. If they got used to a season long deal, I think they would see that that's better, at least in my opinion. BB, your new channel needs to use my full season points form. Oh, it definitely will have full season points because Earth 2 is perfect in my mind. Chrome Diesel loves my points format. It's not a bad points format. I tend to lean toward Slap Shoes' points format, but any full season points format is better, in my opinion, than what we've got now. Damon says, I've never been a fan of the Dillon brothers. However, what Austin did in bringing Kyle to RCR, making him a permanent second banana, showed maturity and good for him. And Ty Dillon is still a tool. Yep. So Austin Dillon's not as bad a race car driver as people make him out to be. He's actually a really good race car driver. He is in the playoffs more times than he's not. So I don't know. He doesn't get a lot of props because he doesn't win a ton of races. But to me, he's like Eric Almirola, but I think he's a little bit better driver than Eric Almirola. But that's just me. I don't know. Rich L says, like Oprah Winfrey, you win a car, he wins a car. We all mess up from time to time. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. KM, also surprised to hear Ron Hornaday ruin Kyle Busch's Busch Series championship hopes long before the Texas incident. Okay. So there you go. Maybe they had a little beef before that. I wasn't. I don't remember it. I don't remember it as good as I used to. But yeah. So there you go. There was more beef to it than that, I guess. Thoughts on Texas Terry Labonte's career? Says OJ and Toothpaste should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's definitely one of the best of all time. 2 championships, underrated because he didn't really talk a lot. But he's definitely got to be. I don't know. He's definitely, as far as drivers I've seen drive, definitely top 10 as far as drivers I've seen drive. What he did, not did. Dang on autocorrect, says Damon. So there you go. Talking about, I got you. Aaron Flynn, thanks, Rich. CBS and ESPN Cup booth needs help. Lee Diffie and Dale Jr., Jamie McMurray and Steve Letarte. Lee Diffie, you don't hear too many people trying to bring him back into the mix either. So there you go. That's another good name there. Lost my spot. Oh, there you go. Texas Terry was my favorite driver growing up. I still rock his gear very regularly. He had some cool gear too now. From Sunoco to Kellogg's, all of his stuff was pretty tight. Let's see. Going from Terry to KFB in that 5 car was quite the transition for me, says KM. Yeah, they definitely are polar opposite personality-wise. Josh Williams, has more than doubled his Twitter following since parking his car at the start-finish line mid-race Saturday per Social Blades. There you go. Molten Rage on Social Blade. Looking at all the numbers. Look at that. Advanced analytics from Molten there. He started Saturday with 12,000 followers and now has more than 24,800. So there you go. Garrett Smithley is known as old 7-time on Earth too. At least seven. 7 Cup championships and at least 1 F1 title. Let's see. Sky Talent, the biggest with the playoffs is that you can lead every lap from lap 1 at Daytona to the penultimate lap at Phoenix and lose the championship to a guy who lucked into a win on the final in the final 4 on the last lap. That's a fact. It's made to be controversial, and that's what they made it for. Regardless of what they actually tried to gaslight us with earlier, saying it's to put more emphasis on wins. Duke Chronic says Josh Williams' statement might get him in trouble for no actual apology. I'm glad he made the statement he made. He shouldn't have walked across a hot track, but I'm glad he stuck up for himself. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Josh Williams said people should join his wife's OnlyFans. LOL, says Mark Barnum. Oh, man. Josh Williams out there living the eastbound and down lifestyle. No doubt about it. Escobar says, I pull for Jeffrey Earnhardt, but dang, he's always in bad equipment. I know he is not a top driver, but it would be nice to see him in good equipment. I agree with that. Escobar, and I had to, sorry, I didn't read that right. It bumped up, and so I had to add my own ending to your statement there. But yeah, I would love to see him run a full season for Richard Childress in the 3 car. I think the t-shirt sales alone would fund everything that year. Did you watch Dale Earnhardt Sr. Last win at Dega Live in 2000? Yeah, I did. I wasn't at Vega, but I watched it live on TV. So, yep, for sure. Definitely remember that race. He made some crazy run in that race where he was like 12th or something like that. It was a great race, awesome race. Say Kyle Not Cow is a disgruntled Jeff Gordon fan, and I've got that diecast in my closet as well. It's there with the Harvick one. As a disgruntled Jeff Gordon fan, I do want them to go back to the old points. The 24 would be a 7-time champion under the old points, so it would feel like a gut punch if they went back. Yeah, I agree, man. Jeff Gordon, unfortunately, doesn't have them 7 titles, but in my mind, he's got those 7 titles. So I'll respect to Jeff. And Jimmy Johnson's 7 titles, in my opinion, are legit too. So I'll respect to both of them. I'm not taking anything away from anybody. I don't want them to go back. I don't not want them to go back. I got you. You don't not want them to go back either, so I got you. NASCAR is not really going to the WWE route as well when they move the Firecracker 400 to the end of August as a playoff cut. Oh, that's a fact. Good point, Aldis. And a super speedway race is a cutoff race as a wreck fest. That's a very good point. Oh, my goodness. Autocorrect. Don't want. Laughing my butt off says, so you do not want them to go back to full season points. I got you now. That is your final answer. Lock it in or whatever that. What game show was that? Is that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Am I remembering that correctly? Roll change for the drivers of the 3, probably 2026. I don't know. It depends on who they would put in that car because I still think they're going to expand to a 3-car team. I don't think they were blowing smoke about that. So if they don't expand to a 3-car team, maybe, but I don't know because Austin Dillon's not as bad as people make him out to be. He's actually pretty good. Streamlabs says, it's a shame folks don't get to hear the likes of Chris Economaki and Ken Squire calling races like I did when I was growing up. Yeah, that's true. Chris Economaki is a legend. So if you've never heard him call a race, definitely good. And Ken Squire already in the Hall of Fame. Streamlabs, oh my God, at least one F1 title. That made me spit my drink out. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt about that with Garrett Smithley. At least one F1 title. Aldis says, in F1 points, Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson are 7-time champions. Dale Sr. is a 3-time champion. Jeff Gordon is a 5-time champion. Rusty and DW are 4-time champions. So there you go. DW with 4. That's interesting. Austin Dillon is mid at best. I hope Austin Hill moves to the 3. Austin Dillon typically always makes the playoffs, so he's a little bit better than mid, in my opinion. He's better even when it was like only 12 cars or whatever. So I don't know. Austin Dillon's he just doesn't get the wins. He's just a super consistent driver. It's not appreciated in the playoff era as much, but Austin Dillon, he's just super consistent. Dennis Gillespie, who jumped on by the way, and they messed up Atlanta. I'm just saying. I'm saying it out right out. Says Dennis Gillespie. Yeah, so Atlanta, a lot of people are polar on that one. They either loved it or they hated it. I think time will tell, but I think they got to get rid of the super speedway package on it for sure. Is it sad I've been muting the Fox broadcast and turning on PRN? Nah, man, KM. I think a lot of us have been doing that. Ought to be another Dylan in the 3. Did I say 2026 again? So there you go, 2026. Atlanta is predicting that Austin Dillon will be running the deal, and Ty Dillon will be in the 26. So we'll see here. Atlanta is a complete dumpster fire now, says the Bandit. Hey, I hate the Latford points format. All the other points format that NASCAR used sucked. I don't know. None of them have been like super great, but the Latford one was the better one of the ones that they've had, in my opinion. Regarding Jeffrey Earnhardt, I really don't know his past. But how does someone with that last name not automatically end up in good equipment? Nepotism is the crux of NASCAR. He's turned it down, other than the one time he was running DEI stuff, Damon. He's turned it down other than that. So it's been on him for not wanting to do it. That was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. LOL, says say Kyle, not Cal. So there you go. I believe the year they did the change the point system, Dale Jr. would have won it had they not. I don't know. I didn't look at that one. I'm not sure about that one. For the most part, drivers did a great job at Atlanta, says David Nyhoff. Hopefully I said your name right there. Yeah, I think the drivers did okay. I think they should have had practice, and I think they need to get rid of the super speedway package so they can race more freely there. A low downforce package would be interesting there. It's sad that Mario Kart has a better point system than NASCAR. I 100% agree with you, KM. I 100% believe Blaney is powered by Duracell, and I'm not regretting saying this, says Molten Rage. So there you go. He keeps going and going. Or that's Energizer, isn't it? I don't know. Sky Talent RCR better get Hill in the 33 car in that 15 charter next year, or maybe SHR could pick him up. Yeah, I think RCR is going to expand somehow, some way, and get him in there because I think they really believe in Austin Hill. Regarding the playoff system, I think it's got problems, and I agree with you that the season points total should somehow be blended with more weight versus one. Versus the one that went in your room. Yep. Logano is an Energizer bunny, says KM. I don't know what you mean by that one, but I'm gonna leave it alone because I got a different thought about it, I guess. Atlanta is too smooth and the tires are too good. Before 2022, you didn't take 2 tires. Now it's an option, says Duke Chronic. I don't think it'll be an option much longer though. Alda says, fellas, my points format is F1 points, but the top 25 score points and F1 points wins matter more. So there you go. And that's basically all people wanted to begin with anyway back in the day when they were griping about the points. Say Kyle, not Kyle, I feel like Atlanta is going to get good as the track ages. I don't think you'll see pack racing as the grip, there'd be less grip. Over the next 3 to 7 years. I agree with you, and I think they need to get rid of the super speedway package on there as well because of that fact. I think with Kyle around, Austin may improve a good deal. Time will tell. We're only a few races in, says Streamlabs. I agree. Let's see. Atlanta needs to be widened and reconfigured to its 97 layout. I agree with that, but keep the banking and go unrestricted with a 4-inch spoiler. So similar to what I was getting at, but with a reconfigure of the track. I think everybody agrees 1997 Atlanta was more fun, or at least most people do. I shouldn't say everybody. Sonny V was thinking Texas Motor Speedway might reconfigure to Atlanta, but having my doubts. What can they do to make it good? Says Sonny V. Texas just needs to be overhauled. That track just isn't working. What I would like to see at Texas is a short track, but how they configure it, I don't want them to do another Martinsville because it seems like that's what they're going to do at California. So maybe look at another short track like a North Wilkesboro or somewhere like that and sort of emulate that, but don't completely copy it. Also, there's the option we mentioned earlier of having a triangle like Nazareth, a short track triangle, not like the Pocono triangle. So you could emulate Nazareth or something like that as well. Austin Hill needs to be in a cup car, says Moulton. I don't think there's a person on the planet that's going to disagree with you there. David says, is Blaney ever going to win again? Oh, yeah. Technically, Blaney won last year. He won a crown jewel last year in the All-Star race. He's definitely, in my opinion, going to get a win this year, too. It would not surprise me to see him get multiple wins this year. Alda says, I read this somewhere. The fall of the Talladega race is watched and attended more over the spring race. I think that's because it's in the playoffs too. So let's see. Streamlab says it is Aldous. The weather is way better in the fall race. Oh, there you go. So it's the weather. I didn't even think about that. Aaron Flynn says, so what it sounds like is Chase in the 9 for JRM in Cup in 2026, says Aaron Flynn. I don't know about that. It'd be interesting. Let's see here. Denny won the first race after him, and his girl broke up. So did Martin Truex Jr. Sounds like some drivers just need to bite the bullet. LOL, says KM. So there you go. Austin Hill has impressed in Xfinity like he's a championship contender right now. He's won 3 out of 5 races. He's in elite company, and I forget who gave me the stat, but it's a great stat. He's in elite company with Kyle Busch and Mark Martin as far as the only drivers to have done that. Tires and wheels package still sucks, and the finishing order is always related to the tire and wheel package, says Baron Von Weebs. I do think they still have some work to do with the tires and tire fall off and all that good stuff. I do agree with you 100% on that. And my thoughts on the wheels are well known, but I think they're a bad idea. Blaney's girlfriend is just way too hot for him. Also, to be a great driver, I'm sorry. I'm saying things no one wants to hear. LOL. I'm just kidding. All seriousness, everyone go follow his girlfriend for a good time, says KM. So there you go. I don't even know who his girlfriend is. Raining this weekend, 30% chance, says Moulton. I hope it happens. I want to see him race in the rain. Put a dirt track inside of Texas. Every other track for that matter, says Barron. They've actually got one outside of Texas, so they don't even have to put one inside. They got one right outside of it. But I do think every track should have a dirt track near it, and NASCAR should pump the dirt side of things as well, because dirt is really fun to watch. Say Kyle, not Cal. I don't have anything against Blaney. After all, my driver is slayed his sister, but man, they should have black flagged Blaney during the All-Star. Whole thing is messed up, says Say Kyle, not Cal. First off, they should have never thrown the caution flag. But if he couldn't get his window net up, he definitely should have been brought into the pits if they're so concerned about safety, as they claim to be. Alda says, hey, BB, how about having 2 dirt races? Eldora definitely needs to be one. I agree with you there. And Bristol Dirt on Father's Day. I don't know. I think this is going to be the last Bristol Dirt race we ever see coming up here. That's just my thoughts on it. Mark Barnum says, I say they need to run solid rubber tires, just hard and soft compounds. Teams get a set. Each team runs them for strategy. Save buying all those sets of tires. LOL. I mean, that would be cost effective. NASCAR is looking for ways to save for the teams to save money. It couldn't be any worse than the tires they got now. Damon says, Logano made a great point about Atlanta, and we should use that down for a package at other super speedways, allowing pushes and bumps, as we saw. He could have a point. He's driving the car, so he would know better than most. David says, why did Amarola try to go 70 laps on the tires? You and me both are trying to understand that one. I wish I had an answer for you, because I think it was just plain out dumb. Molten Ray says crew chief is dumb, David. So Molten jumping on that one too. Did you see on Radioactive the plan for the 10 was to run those tires for the rest of the race? So that's even stupider in my opinion. I don't understand that call at all. I just don't get it. Alda says NASCAR seems to hate Kyle Larson and keeps getting screwed over since last season. Yeah, those cautions certainly have not helped him. I'll tell you that much right now. As a Kyle Larson fan. Sky Talent says, say Kyle, not Cal, NASCAR should have black flagged themselves. That caution should have never came out. I agree with you, Sky Talent, 100%. And Blaney won the race twice. So there you go. That's I do agree with that. But if the window net can't go up, that is a safety issue. And he should have been black flagged. But the caution never should have came out when it did either. that was once again a sports entertainment caution with 100%. To be honest, it doesn't seem like Hendrick and Gordon like Larson, but he wins for them. Their body language is always so different toward him compared to Elliott. I don't know. I guess because they grew up with Chase Elliott in the garage. Kyle Larson, Rick Hendrick likes him, and that's all that matters. Let's see. I think the driver of the 7 would be the driver of the 7 with JRM with their second charter. Oh, so you're going with Justin Allgaier? They would move up Justin Allgaier. I got you to Cup if they moved up the Cup. I think it's going to be Josh Berry, but Justin Allgaier would make sense financially. Sky Talent, yeah. Who is Sky Talent? Yeah, the Who. This was a joke. Even if they gave him the position back, they should have made sure that window net was secured. Yeah, especially in a All-Star race, they should have let him secure it. Aaron Flynn says 2026. Talking about Ty Dillon will be in the 3 car. David says the pace car won the Xfinity race. Definitely led the most laps. Whole thing was a joke. Says say Kyle, not Cal. Talking about the All-Star race. Entry list for trucks, Xfinity, and Cup this weekend is very interesting. Says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, a lot of heavy hitters coming down to race against the other guys in both of those series. NASCAR needs to move to either Pirelli, Michelin, Firestone, and have multiple tire compounds. I do like the multiple tire compounds idea, Aldis, and have 2 wet weather tire compounds. Yeah, I do like that idea as well. We need a NASCAR Crown Vic stock car series. Now that would be fun, says KM. Cletus McFarland has one, so check his out. Say Kyle, not Kyle, good Lord. It's like my fingers are licking windows right now. Can't type at all. We all have those days, buddy. All the time I have them. I hate autocorrect. I don't think Hendrick would have had Larson in the number 5 with that paint scheme if he didn't like him. Says, yeah, I think Rick Hendrick loves him. He wouldn't be there if Rick Hendrick didn't love him. Moulton says Drew Blickensderfer has just not been good with Eric Almirola so far in 2022 to 2023 has been the worst season of SHR. It makes me question what happened. Why aren't they clicking as driver and crew chief? I don't know. Good question. KM says that's a good point. Bo Darville. Let's see. Josh Berry got 10 at Atlanta, second 10 at Atlanta, right? In his second Cup start, says Cassandra Keller. Yeah, he definitely finished 10th in his second Cup start, and he was having a good run at this previous weekend before he got caught up in that wreck. Allgaier couldn't win in Cup when he was there early in his career. Yeah, that's true, and he was with Penske. He sort of moved up too early, so you can say whatever. He's also said he's not interested in racing Cup anymore, so take that for what you will. Dennis Gillespie, everybody hated Kyle until he went to Richard Childress Racing, driving a Chevrolet. It's amazing how drivers are loved and hated. It's amazing how much Toyota is hated in that particular situation, in my opinion. Obviously, him going to RCR helped a lot, too. But I just feel like there's a lot of Toyota hate out there as well. I say Kimi Räikkönen, Jenson Button, Jordan Taylor will all finish top 20. I'm with you, Napa Racing fan. Hopefully, Connor Daly will actually have a somewhat competitive ride this time. I think so, too. Alice says screw charters and owner points. Let's have heat races, 2 50-lap heats, 23 cars per heat, bottom 5. Have a last chance qualifier and top 7 at the end of the last chance qualifier. Yeah, I like heat races and I like last chance qualifiers, so I'm with you on that one. I don't think NASCAR will ever get rid of the charters, though. It would just be too messy. David says somebody told me that Andy Petrie wasn't the crew chief for Kyle Busch. That dangerous combination. Ask Harry Gant. Yeah, he's the director of competition at RCR, though, so he's got a hand in it. Let's see here. Moulton says Allgaier was in H. Scott Motorsports equipment. You were not going to win in that equipment. That was backmarker team with backmarker speed. There's no way you're winning a race in that. Yeah, that's a fair statement too. If you love some rowdy, say heck yes, says Cassandra Keller. Heck yes, I am a Kyle Busch fan. Kyle Larson too, and Kyle Weatherman. So figure out the math on that one. Say Kyle says, my dad has met Larson multiple times with Ganassi. Said he's one of the nicest drivers he ever talked with. Not surprised at all that Rick likes him. Yeah, I'm with you. Jeff Gordon might not like him because Kyle Larson could be a threat to some of those Jeff Gordon Hendrick records. Not wins, obviously, because I don't think he's going to get to the 100 mark or wherever Jeff Gordon's sitting at. Do you know if Rodney will retire with Kevin or stay? He said he's going to stay on, Damon. He's going to stay on with Stuart Haas Racing. He tweeted that out maybe a month or two ago. Bo Darville says, I think people have to get started liking KFB, even if they didn't go Chevy. It happened to Dale Sr. and Jeff Gordon. They went from hated to loved without changing anything. That's a fair statement. After a while, all buttholes become our buttholes, right? So obviously I can't use the word because we're on the tubes here, but you know what I'm getting at. How about this Xfinity booth for CBS and ESPN? Adam Alexander, Kurt Busch, Trevor Bayne, and Brad Daugherty. I like anything Brad Daugherty's a part of, so I'm with you. Napa Racing Fan, did you see Larson's comments on Atlanta Super Speedway? I didn't see him at all. Or if I saw him, I can't remember what they were. Molten Ray says, do you want to hear something depressing? Seeing the downfall of WBR. See them barely even getting top 30s these past two seasons. It's absolutely sad to see the downfall of this legendary racing team. Talking about the Wood brothers there. Yeah, hopefully they can get back on track. We've got RCR and Roush back. Somebody needs to go get the Wood brothers back on track. David says, how do you talk so fast? I don't know. I don't know, man. I used to work as a cook, and I had to talk fast and give orders and stuff like that. So I guess that's where it comes from. I don't know. Did anyone hear that before the race, Jeff Gordon said there wasn't a single car on the track with a modified single source part, and that Tony agreed with him? I was shocked. He said that on TV. I don't know. I don't know. He's trying to angle his way without a single source part that has been modified. I got what you're saying. I get what you're getting at. Yeah, I'm not shocked that he said that because anything, if you know anything about NASCAR, they're not going to stop cheating no matter what. They're always going to push the limits because that's just part of the sport. It doesn't matter what the fine is; they're always going to push it. I feel like Tony is going to go scorched earth, poaching drivers in the next year or two. He's going to sell his interest. Don't see any middle ground with Tony. Oh yeah, it could definitely go either way. I agree with you. He'll either quit or he'll go all in and get as many good drivers as he can get. Say Kyle, not Kyle. I agree with that 100%. 21 made a mistake letting Matty D go. Yeah, or at least not replacing him with somebody who's more ready. Harrison Burton, I think, was rushed up. Molten Ray says, I'm sorry, Wood Brothers. This project is over for you. You've got to cut Harrison Burton. He just isn't doing anything over there other than paying the bills with his sponsors. There are far better drivers that you could and would make that organization better. Like Riley Herbst or Brandon Jones. And I know you don't like Brandon Jones, Molten Rage, but they're better drivers. At least they're more ready, in my opinion, and they bring sponsorship with them. So I think that's a good route for the Wood brothers to go going forward. Dumping Matt DiBenedetto for Harrison Burton and Dex imaging turned out to be not the best idea for the Wood brothers. Burton had one great year in Xfinity and with 4 wins. The others, he had 0 wins. Matty D didn't bring money to the table as a Cali guy. Yep, that was definitely the downfall of Matty D there. KM, it seems like the Wood brothers had the 99 wins for 20 years. Maybe one day they'll get to 100 or maybe not. I hope they get there. It's going to be a big day when they do. I'm not going to be right for a week if it happens. I'll tell you that much. At least they got the sponsor, so they're keeping the doors open and paying the bills. So sometimes people don't like to see it, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Burton wasn't great in the truck series either with 0 wins, says Napa Racing Fan. LaJoy in the 7 and second charter for JRM, not Algar in 2026. Yeah, I mean, I think they keep Corey LaJoy. I think the ultimate team for Dale Jr., if he was just hand-picking them and doing it, he would have Martin Truex and Josh Berry. But if he can't get Truex, I think it'll be Josh Berry and Corey LaJoy. I don't see any Chevy Cup rides open, so Tony could raid Xfinity to get Josh Berry. That's another good option as well. I agree with that. Provocate. Duke Chronic, Harrison is a Virginia boy. Yeah, I think Harrison has potential. I just think he came up too early. I think he came up to the Cup Series too early. I'm not a Harrison Burton hater, but I definitely think he came up there too early. Alice says only a few like Atlanta right now. I say go with the pre-97 layout with 22 to 25 degrees of progressive banking. So just going with the 97 configuration and adding different banking. Cassandra Keller says Stuart Haas needs to go to get Christopher Bell, even if they have to buy a contract out. I think that's definitely Tony Stewart's first option and first pick. Not going to surprise me if that happens at all. Moulton says, I'd rather have Brandon Jones over Harrison Burton, and I'm not a big Brandon Jones fan. I have to say that. Yeah, he's definitely going to be more consistent, and he's probably going to bring more sponsor money in, too. Quaker State with Trackhouse is so BA, says Aldis Coda. Carosa. Sorry, I got your name wrong. Yeah, I think that car looks really good. I'm a fan of green cars. I know green cars are unlucky. I like them. It didn't seem to be too unlucky for Bobby Labonte in the interstate cars. That's always been my comeback for that. Or Harry Gant for that matter. Do you think Matty D ever gets a chance in the Cup Series? I don't know, man. The way he went scorched earth on the Wood Brothers, I think he's going to have to work really hard to get another shot in the Cup Series. That's just my thoughts on it. I wish he hadn't gone scorched earth on the way out. If he hadn't done that, I would say 100% he would probably get another shot. Do you think Andretti will force his way into F1? Says KM, 100% he's going to do it. I think he's going to keep beating the door down until they have no option. They'll have no other way of moving the goalpost because he's just going to keep getting it done. Harrison Burton is why people need to pump the brakes on Ty Gibbs. Winning in Gibbs' Xfinity cars doesn't mean much, says Bo Darville. That's a fair point. I've been saying that for a while. I do think Ty Gibbs is good, but I do think it's going to take at least halfway through the season, if not next year, before he shows what he can do. That being said, every time I say something like that, something goes the exact opposite. So he'll probably win the next race. Also, have you ever watched the NASCAR Euro Series race? KM says, I have watched the NASCAR Euro Series. They also have a YouTube channel. So check them out if you haven't. Aldis Carosa says, when you look at Atlanta right now, you might think it's Rockingham with the white lines. And Rockingham's another one. I think they're going to get a truck race here pretty soon. Stuart Haas should completely rebuild. They'll probably try to keep Almirola and Smithfield sponsorship, even though he doesn't do much, says Napa Racing Fan 927. They'll keep him for next year, but after that, I think he's gone for good. Say Kyle Nakal says, I don't know. My Green Mountain Dew car in Heat 4 is like a 12-time consecutive championship ride. So there you go. Mountain Dew for the win. Talking about C Bell, he is in my top 8. Says Aaron Flynn. Oh yeah, he's legit. Like he just doesn't get talked about enough. And Tony Stewart is 100% going to go after him. Wood Brothers should have kept Matty D. Sure, Harrison might be better overall, but at least Matty D had a good chance of winning at super speedways. I don't think Harrison is better overall. I think Harrison just brings more sponsorship. David says you have a lot of collectibles. I've got a lot of die-cast. There's no doubt about that. It's been a long period of time collecting them though. Steven says, sorry, just jumped on. What's the discussion about? We've talked about a little bit of everything today, man. Atlanta, fines, all the fines, Josh Williams, whatever's been buzzing. 2023, Ty Gibbs is not only trying for Rookie of the Year, is only trying for Rookie of the Year. That's the goal, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think that's the only thing you can judge him or Noah on. They're with different teams. They got different crew chiefs than they had with the 16 or so starts they had last season. So, like I said, halfway through the season, I expect to see something from them. I don't expect much in the first half of the season. This car is just totally different than anything anybody's ever driven before. As far as Cup Series drivers go, or NASCAR style drivers go. Jamie says, what is more likely to you, Harvick winning a championship in his last year, or Joey going back to back as a champion? Oh God, flip a coin. I'd like to see Kevin Harvick win a championship on his way out, so I'll go with that one. I'm hoping that one happens, but it wouldn't surprise me if Joey Logano won back-to-back, and it wouldn't surprise me if Harvick won the championship either. Aldis says, remember when teams that only had 1 to 2 sponsors and simple paint schemes, better bring that back. Don't change paint schemes and sponsors every week. Yep, that was when NASCAR was cheaper to do too, so sort of is what it is. The NASCAR model is just it's gotten out of control for the economy that we have now. In the United States. Moulton says Matty D was made a mistake trying to disrespect the Wood Brothers' history and having a massive ego, acting like he's this great driver when he's just an okay driver who gets the best out of equipment. So, yeah, I think that hurt him on his way out, too. I agree with you. David said, I have tickets from the 1971 Talladega 500. Oh, that's pretty cool, dude. I like that. Haley finally got decent results in Atlanta with 12th. Will Deegan run well at Coda? Restarts will be big. Yeah, she's got to work on those restarts. If she gets her restarts down, I think she becomes she'll start running easily 5th to 12th every single race if she works on her restarts. KM says, I never got that vibe from Maddie, says Moulton. Yeah, he didn't do it all the time. It was just, he went scorched earth on the Wood Brothers on Instagram Live or something like that. And it was surprising to say the least, but he said some pretty, he said some pretty wild stuff. So I'll leave it at that. You can look it up. I'm not going to repeat it. It's no need for it to be brought back up. He hasn't said anything crazy like that since, and I think he's learned from it. So hopefully he learns from it, does better, and gets another chance. I think Napa as a sponsor is cursed, says Aldous. I mean, they won a championship, though. They won a championship with Chase Elliott, and they won championships in the Xfinity Series. I don't know about that one. Duke Chronic, Matty D was the man when Kyle Larson was racing in California. Yeah, for sure. He was also pretty good at Hickory. I remember him from Hickory. He was pretty good at Hickory down here. Ty Gibbs kept his same crew chief, Chris Gale, from Xfinity. Yeah, but he didn't have the same crew chief he had from when he was running for 2311. That's all I meant by that, Willow. Sorry for not being clear. Rich L, I'm saying this lightly, but has any of you noticed that Clint and Mike tread lightly when something happens with one of Smoke's cars? I like Tony, but he's got to remain neutral in the booth. Oh, yeah, 100%. They don't want to say nothing because I don't think they want an eruption out of Tony Stewart. I would love to see his face, though. A couple shots of his face when his car is wrecked because he's got to be wincing. Deegan gets 12th as a super speedway package, and everyone all of a sudden acting like she's back. I'm not sold. If it was any other driver in that car, no one would be excited over a 12th place finish, says KM. But to be fair, if she was just any other driver, she wouldn't have all this pressure to run good either. So, I mean, it goes both ways as far as that goes. But that's a fair point. Let's Rich L, like Gordon did, says Rich L. Oh yeah, Gordon went in on him, no doubt about it. KM, I knew who you meant, KM. I got you. Christian Eckes just won in a Napa truck. How was Napa cursed? Says Napa Racing Fan 927. Yeah, I don't know. Molten Rage, Haley, I have no hope for her. I'm sorry. She's just not ran good at all. I'm not counting Atlanta because she wasn't a 12th place truck. She was 25th truck throughout the race. Crashes just happened. I don't know. She ran pretty good in the Xfinity car. We'll have to see. People hate too much on her. They just make too big of a deal out of a driver that's just trying to make it. I don't get it. David says Maddie always made a mistake moving to the top of the track on the last lap. Yeah. He had that. I think it was Talladega. I think he had that super speedway win, and then just made the wrong move. Got a little nervous. Duke Chronic says, I love Tony in the booth. I think overwhelmingly it's been positive. Say Kyle says, I feel like they didn't say anything about the 41. I had no idea what happened to Priest until Iceberg mentioned losing a cylinder in post-race. In his post-race. Yeah, same deal. I didn't hear anything about it either. I'm with you. Aaron Flynn says the 8 and the 11 in the top 8. Also, probably the 88 is my last of my picks. I'll pick the other 4 next week, says Aaron Flynn. So there you go. You got Kyle Busch and you got Denny Hamlin. And the 88. We're talking about Xfinity. So Josh Berry, daggum, I can't remember who drives it. They changed so much stuff at Colleague. I can't remember who drives the 11. Daniel Hemrick. So let's see here. Josh Berry and Daniel Hemrick, and then whoever is in the 88 there. Miguel Paludo, I think. I see Mark Barnum. Haley was just playing the game at Atlanta, running the back, let the idiots wreck each other, says Mark Barnum. I agree. That's the way I saw it, too. Like I said, I only saw the highlights, but that's just what I assume she's doing because she's been in so many wrecks this year. Napa Racing Fan says, Brad K made a mistake moving to the bottom to block Logano. I would have much rather Keselowski win and break his winless streak. Yeah, he should have stayed up top and then just pulled the same move that Joey Logano pulled to him. Gordon, Stay neutral in the booth. You never really heard him show any bias toward the 24 or the HMS cars, says Rich L. Yeah, but people are just going to complain whenever there's an HMS driver in the booth, just because you've got Dale Jr. on the other side, Steve Letarte. They claim that there's a Hendrick bias there, which there probably is. I don't know. I just never pay attention to stuff like that. KM, I like Deegan, but at the top level of motorsport, you should have some results. I'm not a fan of any pay driver. Still questioning my thoughts on Herbst. At least he is consistently in the top 10. Yeah, and I think Haley Deegan will eventually get there. Unfortunately, that's part of it. You got to have either talent or money, and very rarely do both of those things happen. So that's just sort of the way motorsports is. Aldis, at least Haley's money is money she's making on her own. So that's her own money. So I'll give her that. How about restarts? And I like Riley Herbst. I think he's going to be a solid driver. He keeps getting better. How about restarts? Keep the double file restarts everywhere and single file restarts at dirt, road courses, and super speedways, says Aldis. So there you go. Going with the single file there. Matty D is not the driver everybody thinks he is. He is sorry. I would bet anything I have that he would not make it back to the Cup Series. If he does, he's going to have a multi-million. He's going to need a multi-million-dollar sponsor. Bo Darville says, I'd rather just have Tony and Mike in the booth. Clint just isn't that good at a roll, says the Bandit. David says, I remember at Talladega, Keselowski said Matty D gave him a Christmas present. So there you go. Let's see. Molten Rage says, Matty D made that mistake. Goes high, gives the win to Brad. Same Talladega race. Jones had the race won. I'm gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes. I'm starting to fade, guys. Then goes up and makes a dumb block, and Larson gives the win to Chastain. You see the trend, right? I guess. Aldis says, I hate the constant restarts, man. There's a reason Phoenix International Raceway is what it is right now. Yeah, I mean, the Phoenix reconfiguration is a problem too. The constant restarts have got to stop too. The entertainment cautions the sports entertainment cautions need to end. That's definitely a problem that's been going on for a while. Say Kyle Deegan need to play the fifth element strategy. Time is not important, only life. Just don't wreck and play the attrition game. Get the confidence up. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad move. She was doing that, and then John Hunter Nemechek, because he got back in the pack, he ran over her anyway. So even when she tries to do that, it goes wrong. Just feel the tension while they talk about Smoke's drivers, says Rich L. Yeah, Smoke's a fiery guy. Like, we all know that. Damon says, I think Clint has come into his own. He makes it fun again. I don't mind Clint Boyer, but a lot of people don't like him. I like him when he had Darrell Waltrip. Love that guy or hate him. He was entertaining as heck. Yeah, I like Darrell Waltrip too, and a lot of people didn't like him. Let's see. Cassandra Keller says, I was wanting to see Mad Brad bring out the flag. I really like that about him. Talking about when he wins a race and brings out the American flag. If you were Tony, who would you sign for the 4 car next year? Austin Hill, Christopher Bell, or Corey LaJoie? I'd probably go Corey LaJoie because he's got experience in these type of cars, and he wouldn't have that learning curve. But Christopher Bell is going to be your best driver. Christopher Bell is going to be your best option there. But if you can't get Christopher Bell, sorry, that's what I meant to say, but I thought in my head but didn't say it. I would go for Corey LaJoie, then Austin Hill, but I think you got a winner either way. Duke Chronic says the 41 car is the best test pilot for SHR. He might blow up a lot. That's a fact. He looks to be the R&D car. I don't see that with Junior either, says Rich L. Yeah, talking about the Hendrick bias. Hit the thumbs up. People says like this, like, yeah, I would appreciate that if you want to do that. Lost my spot. So I'm going to start down here. Mark Barnum, hot take, lock the door on the porta potty. Yeah, no doubt about that. Talking about the Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski deal. David says, thank you for your content and acknowledging us. I do my best, man. I try to get to all of them. I'm losing them here, though. I just lost my spot, and I probably missed like 10 or 12 or 5 or 6. I don't know. But I missed a bunch of them. So sorry if I missed yours here. But say Kyle, not Cal, new sports entertainment caution idea. Small charge of C4 in each engine. NASCAR randomly detonates it when the race gets stale. It wouldn't be any worse than what they're doing now. Some people are already accusing them of that, for what it's worth, say Kyle. Rich L, not sure if Corey had the juice to push Brad, but man, that was close. Yeah. I hope Corey LaJoy breaks through and gets one day, and I think Brad Keselowski is going to get one before the year's out. Hell, Brady is like gold in football, but soon as his game was off, they're shipping him out. Performance over everything. I agree. Let's see here. This weekend proves that the 41 car sucks in SHR. It's been a driver issue. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. The 41 car is poor. And to touch on your point, KM, I agree at the top level, but in trucks and Xfinity, I think they've got time to learn and grow. Aaron Flynn, thinking about going to Bristol next week with my family. Any advice? Have a good time. Just have a good time. It's a fun racetrack and everybody loves it. Wear earplugs because it's really loud. Another great live stream, BB. Yours are the best. Thanks for doing this. No problem, Beast. I'll try to keep them coming. Maybe one day I can get to the point where I can do one every day. But until then, we'll keep them on Tuesdays and Sundays. Will Stuart Haas after Harvick leaves dip into performance as bad as Roush did? I hope not, man. I hope not, Napa fan. But you sort of get that feeling sometimes. I kind of get that feeling about Gibbs right now more than I do Stuart Haas. OJ and Toothpaste, thoughts on Kyle Busch and Logano fight in Vegas? I think it's overblown. I think they'll be fine. They've never liked each other, so I don't think it'll really change anything. I wouldn't expect too much from it. KM, I wouldn't mind if they did the non-caution stages at every track. I'm with you, KM. Hopefully it goes well at the road courses and they get rid of them. Why can't they have a mile per hour readout on the dash? That's a great question like this. Like, I have no idea. Why does everyone go up high at the spring Talladega races like you guys just gave the win? Why would you do that? Just stop going high on the last lap. I'm begging you. Why, if you want to win? Says Moulton. David says no cautions at the end of stages. I agree. That's what everybody wants. But NASCAR is being stubborn about it. Bo Darville says SHR should be terrified of Kevin retiring. Think of what they would have been without him. Yeah, that's true. Stuart Harvick Racing. That's definitely an option. All right, I'm going to Boogie. Hope y'all have a great rest of the week. I've been dragging with a medical issue lately. Hope you get better, Rich. So put your thoughts and prayers out there for Rich. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, Rich. And I'm gonna read this last one from Say Kyle, and then I'm gonna hop off myself. Say Kyle, not Kyle says TV will have a meltdown if they get rid of stage cautions at each race. Happy that we at least got rid of the road course ones. That's true. It does seem to be a TV-driven deal. And with that one, peace. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.